Hi guys, and welcome back to Amy's Art Table. Today I'm going to work on some potted plants with you. So go ahead and grab your watercolor supplies and a comfy seat and we'll get started. All right guys, so I'm going to work on some different types of plants and leaves in some pottery today. It's going to really take the shape of different little squares and rectangles, sort of just melding together, and then we'll work on the greenery after that. So I want you to go ahead and think about a color scheme, and we'll try to recreate these potted plants. I'm going to be working with some very neutral colors today, some beige, some orange, sort of like terracotta pottery, but I also am just going to let the colors bleed together. I think I'm going to start with a number 10 brush, which is sort of a larger brush, and one of my lighter peachy sort of colors. Now I'm going to start on the left center of my page and just making a nice little square shape. Now, the one that I'm painting live with you today is not going to turn out exactly like this. We're going to use this as an inspiration. This is something that I did this past week, and I really just let these colors sort of blend together. So that's what we're going to do too. So starting out, making just different squares in sort of a similar color scheme. See if I can grab a lighter peach here. I had some helpers in my paint room yesterday, which was one of them was one of my little kiddos, and he mixed a lot of my colors. So cleaning out some trays today. All right, using this sort of beigey tan, just bring this pot a little further down. It's just going to be like a group of pots. I don't really care that that's melding into one another. I like the way that looks. Introduce even a slightly darker color up a little higher here. Just sort of let them blend together. So the blending really just allows the painting to take on a slightly more abstract form. So the first time I painted this, I was just experimenting to see what that would be like. And it turned out really well. I really liked it. So that's why I'm sharing this video with you today. I'll introduce an orange color over to the side. So lots of squares stacked and rectangles. You can curve the edge that sits down onto the page as if it's sitting onto concrete or a shelf or something like that. You can give it a slight curve if you like. And that can kind of show that it's pottery. Right, and then I'm just going to continue like this, adding the same color scheme, but just different pots in different places. Sort of want to spread it out evenly amongst the page too when I space these sides. Don't want to come down too far, but also do want to leave some space up here for all the greenery that we're going to paint later. And yeah, this is just a fun little abstract way of making some plants here. Get some orange going on this side. Maybe a little more space between these guys. And any configuration of these pots is going to be perfectly fine for what we're doing. So don't worry too much. Also, if you wanted to choose a different color scheme, I may do another video that has a completely different color scheme, which can also be really fun. So just, yeah, it's time to experiment and see what we can come up with. I think we have a little room to put a tiny one here on the edge. Trying to come up with some sort of balance of the painting. And looks like we need to fill in here, and yeah, this and this looks almost even. So could do another little tiny red over here. And notice how I did not redip my paintbrush into the paint, so I've come up with a lighter color red that was made from this over here. Add a little more. Right. Liking how this is turning out. I'll do another orange here. Try to make this guy a little bit more pigmented. And I'll come right back here. Right, so this is looking good. I'm liking the lineup. I like having this space here. So yeah, I think that's good. We could do one more tall here, but I think I'm liking this. We can have our plants sort of draping out this way. All right, so that's the first part of this, is just placing your pots in your color scheme that you have chosen. And again, I'm using oranges, beiges, tans, peaches. And then we'll go ahead and let this dry for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll come back with some greenery. All right, guys, so now that these have had a chance to dry, we'll just come back in with some green. Going to use sort of an olivey green here today. And just going to add some different types of leaves. So I've taped down my paper so we won't get too much bowing with the wetness on our paper. And let's see, I think this is fully dry, yeah. So we'll go ahead and put in some tall, wavy-like leaves to this red pot. Almost like a seaweed. It's not a seaweed, but there's these plants where the leaves just grow up really tall and really straight. So go ahead and do that. So our goal here again is going to be, we're going to keep the same color of leaf, but we're just going to change the leaves. So off to the side, we'll do some small leaves coming off of this small pot. You can even have them drape over a little if you want. It's just little marks with the tip of the brush. Something like that. You don't want to make it look too perfect because if you look at plants, they aren't entirely symmetrical. And then let's try a different curved leaf here. Something like this. Now it's okay, it looks like it bled just slightly here. That's okay. Or you can also leave this area here blank. You can come back and fill it in with a darker color, or you can just leave it white. I think I might just leave it white for now. And then similar type of a leaf. Like they're all growing from the same bud in the center here. Same root. stalk, I should say. And again, have one curve over. And it's going to be okay in this painting to overlap. And overlap the pots, overlap the leaves. Totally fine. It's still an abstract painting, so I'm going to leave a little bit of room for interpretation here. I'm going to go directly over the pots here with same green color. This guy's just going to have some nice brush stroke leaves. Dipping my brush in the paint and then just simply setting the side of the brush right onto the page. Okay, so just experimenting with different types of leaves. Let's do another tall one. This time maybe we'll get some smaller leaves coming off of the same little stalk here. Again, you can leave some white spaces if you like. You can always come back with a darker green or a lighter green to add shade and shadow, or just leave it white. Goes with the abstract theme. All right, liking that. I think I'll fill that one in. You have another stem coming off here. And so this painting is really just building on itself. Sort of add leaves where you think they should be. It's like maybe there should be some here behind, making this a thicker plant. Yeah, so something like that. And then just continuing until we fill each pot. Let's see, this guy back here. Sort of trying different things. You can think about house pots. Sorry, you can think about house plants and just the different shapes that you see. Leaves right behind one another. And then same thing on this side. I think we'll just have a nice little draping plant here, spilling over. And a larger plant. It doesn't have to be entirely symmetrical to the other side, but it does help you find a little balance when looking at the painting. And then feel free, you can go back after this is dry and add even some pen line work to add detail into the plants. Maybe we'll do a video about that as well. Or you can add some deeper shades of green. I'm just sticking with one nice color scheme here, just for fun today. And then, let's see, we need something in this pot, and we need something in this pot. So I think I'm liking the little bit of space here, so I'm going to just have this guy be a small, short plant here. Just adding some little marks like that. And then on this side, we could go with some nice longer pieces. And then again, don't be afraid to overlap. This guy come out just a bit here. And there you have it. I like how this is turning out. It's a nice, simple color scheme, similar to our original from earlier in the week. Slightly different colors here. This one's a bit brighter. This one's a bit more more reserved, more monotone. But I like how this turned out, and it's just a really simple, fun idea to play with. You know, this idea of creating the squares and rectangles and then just overlapping it with plants. So I think we'll definitely revisit this at a different time and maybe even add some line work. But I hope you enjoyed this video today, and check back soon. I'll have more for you. Thank you. Bye.